Hello paper crafters, I'm Sunny Sky and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And today's card looks very simple and basic, but I have a couple of tips I want to share with you today. So we are using the Hostess set, Love You Lots, and this is a nice versatile set. You've got a couple of different sentiments and we've used it before. But anyways, you can only get this when you do host a show or put in a qualifying order. But it's a great opportunity to enlarge your stamp set collection. So this is our sample that we're starting with, and this stamp I bought on the wood block, the mounted stamp set, and I'm just using a piece of cardstock. It's 2 by 3.5. It's just about the size of the piece of wood that this stamp is mounted on. And I'm just going to stamp in our Archival black ink because we are going to do some watercoloring, so we want to make sure that that ink is going to stay. While we give it a little time to dry, we're going to go ahead and just add with Melon Mambo, the Thank You Friend sentiment. Now the Melon Mambo is the color that is in this Pop of Pink Designer Series paper that we're also using for this card. And we're going to sponge the edge of the card. So I'm just going to use one of our sponge daubers. This gives you a little more intense color than one of the larger Stampin' Sponges. And I know that this pink is a little bright to be a mouse, but I really wanted to use this Pop of Pink paper, and I like it with the basic gray coloring. I like that combination with the pink and gray, and so we're just going to add a little of that bright pink. Now we are going to color in the mouse and the elephant a little bit, and so if you take your stamp pad and just squeeze the lid down, it is made flexible on purpose, you'll be able to get this little well of ink. And I'm also going to do that with the basic gray stamp pad, and then we're just going to use a water brush. So you've got water or whatever liquid you want to put in the barrel of this brush, and it's just going to water down the color a little bit, and I'm actually going to just make this a little paler before I use it on my little mouse here. And we're just going to add just a little color to him, and I'm also going to add just a little pink accents on the elephant here. And here on his eyes, a little bit on his trunk. Let me just spread those up a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to use the basic gray just to bring in some shadow on the bottom of my elephant. And the stamp has already some of that shadow built in the brush strokes, but this just adds a little more color to it. And you could do this set without adding any color at all if you wanted to. And you also could stamp it on basic gray paper and cut it out and pop it up if you wanted to spend a little bit more time on this card. But I'm just adding some color into this elephant. Not everywhere, but just in some of the areas. Alright, and so between colors, when you're using the watery brush, you just wipe it onto paper and it'll clean off the tip, and then you can just change colors. So that's what I did there. Now we're adding this onto a layer of basic gray that I just cut 1/4 inch wider than the stamped layer. And then when we're applying it onto the ribbon, this is a quick way to apply it on where the ribbon is and add a little dimension to the card. These are the new adhesive strips that we have. And I'm just going to put 2 rows of adhesive here on the top and the bottom of this. Now when I was deciding where to put the ribbon on this card, you'll notice that this image is heavier on the left. There's more picture there. This has a lighter look, and so I wanted to balance that out. And so when I was choosing where to apply the ribbon, rather than putting it over on the left side, which would make this side of the card just appear more heavy, I just put the ribbon to this side, and it helps to balance out the look of the card. And that's one thing I just wanted to mention to you. So I'm just going to add a little adhesive on the back of the card here. Put my ribbon on. Get that on the adhesive. I've got my full card is in basic gray. Oh, I've got 2 sheets there. And I'm just going to fold it in half. If you don't score it ahead of time, just use your bone folder to make a good crisp image where your card is folding. Now because there's ribbon on the back of that layer, I want to add a little bit of extra adhesive towards that side of the card just to make sure that it sticks, because the cardstock is not touching the paper as much because the ribbon is there. And then where I've got these dimensional strips here, that's going to help hold the ribbon down on the front of the card. You also could add a little adhesive behind the ribbon here. And I'm just going to center that on the card there. So that's just a quick and simple card, but you do have that little bit of ribbon tip and balancing out your focal point and a little bit on watercoloring. So thanks for joining me today. Subscribe to my channel, share this video with a friend, shop on my website if you don't already have a demonstrator, and go have some fun crafting today. Bye-bye.